And at what point did you decide to make the switch into working for yourself?
Um, okay, so once I was at Fille Clin d'Oeil, I worked there for about a year and a half. Unfortunately, it closed because
Okay.
at that time, teenagers just wanted to be on the web. They
Right.
were not interested in magazine anymore, so it wasn't the right time for that. I worked a little bit at Clin d'Oeil magazine, and then clindeuil.ca opened.
Okay.
And when I heard about that, I was like, you know what, I want to do this because we were seeing how the web was going to be
Right.
definitely the
It was
future.
booming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I did everything to be able to work at clindeuil.ca. My colleague there at the time was cool enough to hire me. And we worked together for about 2 years. I launched a blog while I was at clindeuil.ca because I've always loved street style.
Okay.
I love to see how people dress, like real people, because usually when you see somebody interesting in the street, they're definitely going to somebody that are people that are creative,
Right.
because you just it just stands out. So I love seeing how real people dress, and I launched this blog called Mode de Rue inside clindeuil.ca, and I fell in love with blogging and I fell in love with the web. So I knew that I was at my place.
Okay.
And I wanted to stay there, actually. I loved my job at clindeuil.ca. I was doing what I, kind
Like
of
you
always
wanted,
dreamed to
right.
do. But then it was 2010, March
Okay.
2010, I actually learned that I had cancer.
Okay.
So I had to stop working. My doctors said that I had a lot of treatment to undergo.
Right.
At first, it was just supposed to be some radiation.
Oh, okay.
But then, and I was like, okay, I can handle radiation. I can
Right.
still work. I can still get married because I was supposed to get married. But then they changed. They're like, we have to do chemo. We have to do all these things.
Okay. It ended
So
up being more invasive.
yeah, exactly. So I had to stop working. So
Okay.
I did, but I asked my boss if I could still do the street style blog. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm just stopping everything and like doing nothing.
Right.
So they said yes, thankfully, and I continued doing that, which
From
really
home?
helped me. Yeah, and I'm telling you specifically about the blog because this was the real turning point in the sense
Okay.
that I had won the previous year best fashion or beauty blog in Canada.
Oh, nice.
And I had reapplied for the next year. But once I found out that I was nominated, I was not doing well. I was,
Okay.
it was a very hard time in treatment. And I didn't want to go. I said to myself, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to go sick with no hair on my
Right.
head. And there's no way. And people didn't know what I was going through. I didn't say it. But
Okay, so people did not, your family knew?
yeah,
or-
my family and my coworkers that I had,
Right.
but I asked them to be discreet and I didn't want people to find out about it.
Okay.
So I never told anyone. And when I decided to finally go, I don't know what changed my mind. One day I was like, oh no, I should go.
Right.
I called
You're being
the
nominated.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a day that I was feeling better. So,
Right.
and so I called Denis Gagnon, which is a Montreal designer, which
Yes.
is my favorite designer. And I asked him, if I go to this nomination thing, would you dress me? And he's like, yeah, of course, come by. So I went to his atelier, tried on some dresses, and I had my wig at the time.
Okay.
And I had to take it off to be able to try his
To try,
stuff.
right.
And so he saw me, and he was like, you should stay like this.
Really?
says,
Did
"You're-
he know what you were going through?
I had
or-
told him. I
Okay.
had told him, but I didn't even tell him about the hair thing. I just told him, this is happening.
Okay.
And when he realized that, he was like, okay, this wig is ugly, first of all. and like
What kind of wig was it?
it was a short wig. I don't know if it was a short. Yeah, it was short, do like reddish hair.
Okay.
And I thought it looked very natural, but maybe I wanted to say that to myself. And
Right.
people who really knew me knew that there was something, But
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it. And he actually convinced me.
Okay.
I still brought my wig with me when I was going to Toronto
Okay.
for the event. But once I was stepping out the house, I put it on, take it off, put it on, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I did go this way, and that night I actually won the prize.
Oh, nice.
So when I got up to accept the prize, I decided, okay, this is the right moment to share what's going on. And the support of the room was so like
Oh
people
my
stood
goodness.
up.
Oh, you're
and
giving me goosebumps.
yeah, well, that's how I felt. People stood up, they applauded, and I felt like, okay, now people know what's going on,
Right.
and they're supporting me in this. So it changed everything.